Hey, before we get started, there's a PDF I'd like you to see. It catalogs the specific changes introduced into the Masoretic text, modifications that were designed to undermine the testimony of Christ in the Hebrew Scriptures. Here is a comparative sample of what you will see. Sanhedrin 108b. The sages taught. 3 violated that directive and engaged in intercourse while in the ark, and all of them were punished for doing so. They are the dog and the raven and Ham, son of Noah. The dog was punished in that it is bound. The raven was punished in that it spits, and Ham was afflicted in that his skin turned black. The Star of Remphan, or the Star of David. Theologians and philosophers view the 2 interlocking triangles as a visual representation of the dualities within human existence and the cosmos. The upward versus downward triangles. The upward pointing triangle represents humanity, our good deeds, and our prayers striving to reach God in the heavens. The downward pointing triangle represents God pouring down divine flow, grace, energy, and holiness into the physical world. Interlocked, they symbolize the covenant, a reciprocal relationship where God and humanity meet. Franz Rosenzweig's Star of Redemption. In 1921, the Jewish philosopher used the 6 points to map out a grand theological framework. 3 points represent the core realities: God, man, and the world. The other 3 points represent the relationships between them: creation, God to world; revelation, God to man; and redemption, man to world. The 4 elements. In medieval alchemy and elemental philosophy, the upward triangle represented fire, and the downward triangle represented water. Their intersection represented a perfect, harmonious balance between opposing cosmic forces. Its use in medieval Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. Before it became a national or political symbol, the Magen David, Shield of David, was a deeply spiritual tool used by mystics in Spain, France, and Germany. The 7 Sephiroth. Kabbalists map the Sephiroth, the divine attributes of God, directly onto the star. The 6 outer points represented 6 distinct spiritual energies, such as loving kindness, chesed, strength, gevurah, and beauty, Tifereth. The center of the star represented the 7th foundational attribute, kingship, presence, Malchut. The Seal of Solomon. In medieval magical texts, the hexagram was frequently interchanged with the pentagram, 5-pointed star, as a protective talisman. Kabbalists drew it on parchment amulets alongside holy names of God to ward off demons, evil spirits, and misfortune. The Shield of Protection. Mystics connected the geometric shape to the physical shields used by King David's army. According to legend, David's shields were embossed with either this 6-pointed emblem or the words of Psalm 67 arranged in the shape of a menorah, imbuing the soldiers with divine protection in battle. There is no evidence to back up this myth. The word Zohar means splendor or radiance. The Zohar is the central work of medieval Kabbalistic literature. It is a multi-volume mystical commentary on the Torah that blends scriptural interpretation with teachings on cosmology, metaphysics, the nature of the soul, and the dynamics of divine light and darkness. Within its pages are discussions of the nature of God, the structure of the universe, the origin and destiny of souls, the process of redemption, and the contrast between the egoic self and the true self aligned with the divine light. The Zohar was first publicized in the late 13th century by Moses de Leon, 1240 to 1305 CE, who claimed it was an ancient work authored by the 2nd century sage Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Modern scholarship overwhelmingly rejects this claim. Most scholars conclude that de Leon himself composed the work, drawing on earlier mystical traditions but writing in a deliberately archaic Aramaic style between roughly 1280 and 1286. Some researchers argue that the text may include contributions from multiple medieval authors or incorporate small fragments of genuinely older mystical material. Later strata of the Zohar, including Tikkunei HaZohar and Raya Mahimna, were added in the 14th century, expanding and systematizing its symbolic universe. Kabbalah. Kabbalah is a mystical system for interpreting what is revealed in Scripture. The Bible presents what God said. Kabbalah presents what mystics believe God meant beneath the surface. The Bible claims direct divine revelation, God speaking to prophets, historical events, laws, covenants. Kabbalah claims hidden meanings beneath the biblical text, revealed through mystical tradition, numerology, and symbolic interpretation. In the Bible, God is personal, relational, acts in history, speaks, judges, saves, enters covenant. However, in Kabbalah, God is understood through emanations, sephirot, a layered structure of divine attributes that flow from an unknowable essence, Ein Sof.